Cloud engineers spend a fair bit of their time in Linux terminals along with GUI tools. After working with various terminals, let me share with you what an ideal Linux terminal for a cloud engineer looks like to be. By ideal, I mean more productive, easy to use, and present. For this demo, I'm using Ubuntu 20.04 as my operating system and ZSH as my shell. You can install ZSH on Ubuntu by using apt install ZSH. You can also make ZSH as your default shell by using chsh command. Okay, so for this demo, I'm presuming that you have already installed Ubuntu and ZSH. So let's dive in right in. So I'm already logged in with my test user, which is a demo, and let me quickly check what my shell is. Let me make it a tad bit bigger because this looks a bit smaller. So I'm just changing these in the putty. Okay, this looks better. Okay, so my existing shell is ZSH, which is good. So when I say my ideal terminal, basically I'm talking about ZSH and then various add-ons on top of it. Those add-ons include a framework called as OhmyZSH. Then there are some themes which you can install, fonts, and various plugins. So let's and this is all built on top of that framework which is called as OMZ or OhmyZSH. Let's first install OhmyZSH. OhmyZSH is a delightful open source community driven very pretty framework for managing your ZSH configurations. It comes bundled with thousands and thousands of helpful functions, helpers, plugins, themes, and few other things, which basically beautify your Linux terminal. And this is I'm using Ubuntu, but this is available for various other operating systems, and you can search on their GitHub or other repositories. Okay, but let's first install OMC for my Ubuntu. So for that to happen, all you need to do is to run a single command on your terminal. So I'm using my Ubuntu terminal. This is cloning and that's it. So one single command and it has installed my OMZ or OMyZSH, which is great. Now let's install a theme on top of it. I'm using a very popular power level 19K theme. And again, all you need to do is to use just two commands. First, I'm cloning the Git repository and then using set command to replace couple of values. So that has installed very quickly. And just to be sure, I will be putting all of these commands in my GitHub repo, and the link of the repo will be in the video description. Okay, so we have installed the theme. Now let's install some cool fonts. I'm going to use some Powerline fonts here. Let me first download those fonts by using wget command. So these have been downloaded successfully, which is great. Now let's move these fonts to the Ubuntu's local share directory. That is done. Now I'm going to use fc cache command. So what fc cache command does, it scans fonts and font directories and build font cache for applications which use font config for their font handling. And if you don't have this fc-cache already installed on your Ubuntu system, just use apt-get or apt-install font-get and you should be good. So I have installed this, which is great. Now let's just move this to the correct directory so that it will be the part of the configuration. So that's done, which is cool. So when that's done, now also let's install some plugins and I'm going to show you how it looks like shortly. So for plugin again, simply just use git clone to clone those repos and then that's all which needs to be done. So when that's done, if I run my ls command, it just uh, does nothing basically. Or if I do something like this, it still looks like the same bash profile and the same output which we see in other profiles or themes. So in order for this to take effect, we need to restart our terminal. But before I do that, let me quickly show you what exactly is happening behind the scene when we have installed OMIZ framework, theme and plugin. All of this information primarily goes into the profile file, which is in the ZSH shell, which is ZSHRC in your home directory. So if I, for example, use VI editor to open this file, so this is the file where it has gone. And before I go further, one thing which we need to do is to export the term environment variable so that it will have the support for the colors, so which is good. And if I come down, let me show you the plugins and the stuff we installed. So as you can see, we have already installed this plugin, which is syntax highlighting and auto suggestion, and I will show you shortly what exactly that means. So I'm going to save this in VI Editor. That's all done. Still, I don't see much happening there, which is okay. For that to work, I need to close this terminal and log in again. So let me quickly do that. I'm going to close it. I'm going to open my putty window again, which is good. I'm going to SU to my demo user. Yes, so as you can see, let me make it bigger. Sorry, I could save it, but let's do it manually right now. Okay, so I am now logged in with demo user, and this looks really different. As you can see, I have now these commands where some icons are appearing, time is appearing, and this has changed a bit. Now, one quick thing I need to show you is that if I use ls command, it is showing me in green. So it means the syntax is correct, right? And as you can see, it is also giving me some suggestions. So I can use those. I could use my right arrow to select that option. So basically, this is called as auto suggestion. If I enter, this is great. Uh, but for instance, if I type LSS, which is a wrong command, it will turn the color to red. If I make it again ls, it is showing me the correct command. Now this is good. So this is all on the basis of auto suggestion and auto complete, which are the plugins. So um, just to reiterate, where exactly did we see? And it is already showing me. So I'm going to VI editor here. So as you can see, this is a plugin section of this command. And if you want to add more plugin, you can all you need to do is to add here. So for example, there are plugins for Git you can use, there are plugins for web search you can use, and there are hundreds of them which are present there. So I'm just going to save it. It's all done. Uh, for web search, it's not recognizing it, so we need to exit and come back again. As you can see, now it is showing me Google. You can search any command with it. I don't have my um, browser configured, so that is why on the right hand side you see it is giving me an error in the red color, which is okay, but now it has turned to green again on the right hand side. So this is how plugins work. Once that's done, there's another cool thing which is called as color ls. So this tool adds a wow factor to your output, and color ls colorizes or clarify your output of the ls command, and you can simply um, install it with the Ruby. So let me show you how that works. So if I type color ls dash l, it is showing me. So it's not showing me anything, which is fine. Let me go with some of the hidden files. So as you can see, this is far more different than simple ls command. So for example, if I use simple ls, look at the difference. If I use simple ls, it's pretty tepid, but if I use it with the color ls, it's a whole new ball game. So this is just one very tiny bit charm of this OMC. So, and as I said, there are thousands of them. There is one more popular plugin which is for Git, and then there is something called as LST. And so all you need to do is to just Google the plugin as per use case, and rest assured it will be present, and you can output or you can even use your own plugin for this. There are also few plugins for Kubernetes which you can use just to make sure that your Kubernetes outputs are beautified. So I hope that this has made you fall in love with OMC and ZSH shell, and feel free to use it in your project. And I'm sure you won't be disappointed. If you have any comments or feedback, please put them in the comments. Thank you.